This is the quote by DMX, and he said, "The minute you get too big to mop a floor, wipe a counter, that's the exact minute you have life fucked up."
Complex ambition. Man, here we are again.
Yeah.
Yet once again, unfortunately, another rapper, another artist has passed away.
Another one of our major influences, another icon, another giant who graced this earth and was able to give us the medicine that we needed.
Man, Earl Simmons, DMX, the Dark Man himself, has passed away at the age of 50 years old.
April 9th.
April 9th.
It was they're saying it was a heart attack.
Overdose, allegedly.
Allegedly, they're not,
Not
sure
full
yet.
details.
The autopsy is not out yet.
Yeah, no autopsy. Nothing's out yet. So this video's been being recorded pre-autopsy. Just about 2 days removed from the actual official announcement of him passing away.
Yeah,
but
and we
it's
needed
been
a
crazy
time.
week.
I feel like we needed the time to process it. The day of, niggas was crying and shit.
Yeah.
You always get, man, when it's a giant like this, man, and you always get very emotional. I don't care who you are. You always get very emotional. Around the city, all I was hearing was DMX that day. So
yeah,
it's very emotional. I was playing Slippin', and it's just crazy, man. With me personally, I did not know this. I'm gonna say a little anecdote. It's always in hindsight that you see things. You're able to connect things. So, I was 5 or 6 years old, living at 56 Sabin Street, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, second floor. It was the evening time, and my big sister, was getting me ready to go to church. So she was putting on my clip-ons high, and I was standing in front of the TV in the room. And then I think it was MTV. They premiered As Gonna Give It To You. And I was around 5 or 6, and my eyeballs were like glued to that TV. I don't know who that was, what I was hearing, but all I knew was that this shit was magical. And when I went to church, I still remember everything vividly. When I went to church, that's all I could remember, just the video and the melody and the aggression and oh my God. And that to me was my first conscious consumption of hip hop. And subconsciously I fell in love with it since. And I did not know, but I always remember that moment in my life, but I didn't know that was my first introduction to hip hop.
Yeah.
And it was fucking DMX.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's phenomenal. X Gonna Give It To You, a classic record. Him in general, man. This it's been a crazy week because we saw reports of him being hospitalized,
April 2nd.
And there was already recent memories of this already happening.
Yeah.
He had it in 2012. I think after that as well. This has happened before. Allegedly in 2012, I believe it was asthma attack.
Because he's always suffered from asthma.
He's had asthma. Artists like Rick Ross, Lil Wayne have had similar attacks or whatever due to alleged drug use. Codeine specifically, things of that nature. So, we're almost kind of prone, a bit numb to it. You kind of have high hopes. Oh, he's hospitalized, but all right, he should have obviously definitely pulled through. But this went on for days and days. Where it was rumors that people would jump the gun and be like, he's dead. They would just say that, and they'll start trending without having any actual facts. The most recent one was the night before he actually passed away. Linnell, the actress, comedian, posted oh, my friend, blah, 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 rest in peace. Something of that nature, right? And it was 2 hours removed from her post on Instagram, and people were like, wait, why did Linnell post this? He passed away? No one confirmed it, so everyone jumped the gun and said, all right, he passed away because she posted this. Then she deleted it 3 hours away from her post time, and it was sorry guys, I meant spiritually. His body is there, but they're they're saying he's not responsive, so I think he's detached. That's what I meant. Sorry guys. So people, it's frustrating because why would you post that? Why would you say that? He's such a big figure. He's a major music giant. So you to post that, obviously she might have meant it innocently. She was obviously very emotional about it at the time, but it's it made people jump the gun, unfortunately, and then his manager, Steve Rifkin, came out this is not true. He's alive still, guys. We haven't disconnected him from life support. We're going to update you guys soon. 12 hours later, basically, maybe less, in the morning, we got the unfortunate news. Woke up, rest in peace, DMX. He actually passed away. And it was crazy feeling, man. 50 years old, he'd lived a long life. He recently said in a Drink Champs interview, if I were to die today, I think I've lived an amazing life.
Yeah, it's very true. I remember
That's sad.
That interview is gonna be classic.
That's a classic interview.
Already classic. When it came out, it was a classic.
Yeah, when it came out, it was good, but it's like, that's literally his last interview, that we know of. He might have done something maybe on paper for a magazine, some shit, but that was his last on-camera interview ever.
And I like the way that Nori did it, because he always mentions he wants to give the flowers while they're still here, and he really did it with DMX. Like, he went all out, and DMX, like, the humility this guy carried. Like, that's why I wanted to mention the quote that I mentioned, because there's many ways to sum up DMX. You can't really sum him up firstly, but just a humble spirit. Like, with Swiss Beats, man. And our fucking brother, man.
Yeah, Swiss Beats, he's one of the first, if not the first, celebrities to ever show us love and tell us keep doing what you're doing years early. Like, probably into year one, maybe a little bit.
What?
Like, 6 months in of doing
I think
YouTube
even
reactions.
Less. I think even less. I think, like, 2 months in doing reactions. So he was Swiss the first
Beats,
one.
Us being basically, what they say, like, 1 degree of separation from DMX.
Yeah.
Because that was his brother, Swiss Beats. And we DM'd him, showed him love, and he acknowledged the love we sent him recently. So much love to him.
And we view Swiss Beats as a big brother, man. Somebody who's always been on our corner, always helping us, always providing the
drive.
Yeah, sort of the drive to continue. But him talking about DMX and the relationship that they had, and the night before that story of how DMX appeared to him in a dream.
Oh my God.
And he didn't know what he was saying, but he was watching South Park and they were talking, and then he gave him a hug, and it was a super strong hug, and then he walked away into another door. And I think that sort of, I think somebody commented that DMX was so giving that he had to tell Sweet Beats that everything's gonna be good in a dream.
He had to.
He was such a giving person. He had to do that shit through a dream.
Nas called him God's poet.
Yeah.
And I do believe that. I do like that title, because everywhere he went, man, he was a manifestation of God. All the time praying. All the time praying for everyone.
All the time what Swiss B said, he needed the most amount of prayer.
He was the one suffering inside, fighting his demons.
He said for that, as long as he's known him.
Yeah. We would hear it in his music. He had alter egos, Damien. He had demonic, battles, all the time. He would always address it openly, and one of his escapes was drugs. Specifically it was crack, cocaine. Due to him being exposed to it by the same person that told him and showed him how to rap at the age of 14 was the same person that laced him with crack, and he became instantly, having this attachment, addiction, whatever you want to call it, to this drug, this substance, and it's not easy, man. Some people, damn, like, you got to pull him away, like, strap that nigga down, get that nigga some help. But at the end of the day, the only person that can truly help an addict is themselves. They have to acknowledge that they're addicted and try to overcome that battle themselves. You can try to rehabilitate whatever, but there's relapse. You can't really force it. It's all only the person that's battling that battle understands it really. So there's no such thing as like, we gotta like a lot of, and I've been seeing this message a lot, this energy by a lot of artists. We have to look at it like this for us to, ourselves really to accept it. They're saying like, now he's happy. Now he's no longer really, suffering, because he was on earth, but it was really hell, and he was suffering.
And Swiss B said that shit.
Yeah,
too.
Beautifully well done. He was like, now he's in heaven.
My brother's no longer suffering.
No longer suffering.
My God.
So it's like they were probably around him and they would see it. They were like, damn, this nigga needs help, but I love this nigga, but he needs help. And they would probably tell him, try to get him help, but he was like, yeah, I'm gonna get it. He probably would get it, but then, the nigga would go to jail.
That's what I was going to say right now. This is amazing. Swiss B said that he would go to jail to find his freedom.
Because in jail, obviously, you're probably obviously isolated, far removed from drugs, if anything, or try to. You have peace, peace of mind. You're away from your family. So he would probably do things that would, make him go to jail. Certain things, whatever was meant by that. Do a little crime, whatever. It's crazy. It's some deep shit. It's some really dark shit that you can literally talk about for hours. You can write movies. Hopefully they do really well done documentaries, movies, books on his life. Hopefully they do good posthumously released albums, because he had a lot of music that was never released.
Yes, he was getting ready to release his album.
There was a song I remember years ago, like 2 years ago, that Swiss Beats was talking about and previewed with him, Nas, and Jay-Z, and it sounded amazing, but they never dropped it. He has a lot of classic moments that were bound to happen. He was bound to make another hit. It was bound to happen. The guy had a lot of hits in different decades. It was bound to happen again. We're living in a movie genre, blockbuster type of generation. He was bound to maybe even be a part of a soundtrack, almost like how Wiz Khalifa did it. Or part of a movie again, because he was a phenomenal actor as well. He was multifaceted. So, it's not just like, oh, another rapper died. Yeah. No, this was someone that, it's unexplainable. You can't really put into few words at all what he was capable of, what he did while he was alive, all the people he influenced.
And like, that's why I wanted to mention that anecdote in my life in the beginning, because it's like, shit, like the influence that people have in your life without you even knowing it. Yeah. And it's until they fucking pass you're able to connect the dots.
Because someone might have asked you before he passed away, what was your introduction to rap? And 100%. You might have had some idea of it, but you forgot. Like, I don't know. Yeah. But now you have this concrete one, like, this was the one. And unfortunately, it's because he passed away.
It's the image. It would never, I remember what I was wearing, how I felt, the temperature outside, everything about it's seminal moments in your life that just never escape the bounds of your memory, and that's one. And I didn't know why until now. Yeah. And it was because he's the one who laced me with this to discover the labyrinthic and the muse-filled world of hip hop. And
it's amazing. There's nothing really more powerful than hip hop, man. To be honest, it's something unexplainable. That man, DMX, everything he embodied was hip-hop, to the point that it was like the purest form. Because his lines, his lyrics, everything about it was like so fucking like controversial. Now looking back at it, it's like that man was like purely himself. He didn't give a fuck. He never gave a fuck. And even like his image, man, like he was bald. All that shit that niggas kind of like are scared from, that nigga always embraced that shit. I never seen that, like, damn, that nigga's bald. Like, that was cool. Like, that was.
It's like Michael Jordan. It's like Michael Jordan.
Like, that's what the fuck. Michael Jordan. And then you think about it now, like, imagine, like, if these niggas were bald. Imagine Drake bald, or, like, even Jay-Z bald. Like, them niggas would look crazy. Yeah. But, like, DMX was, like, even simple things like that, we would take for granted, like, him being bald. Like, it's whatever.
It's never been a lack of confidence coming from him.
Never.
It's really because I think this strong attachment you have with God. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I think it was, too.
I really think that's what it was. Nothing really fazed him. The only thing that really fazed him was his own vices, his own demons, and unfortunately, I don't want to say they overcame him, but they brought him to where he's at now.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. He did what he had to do. Unfortunately, he obviously could have done more, but man, what that man did, classic albums. 2 classic albums off the gate to start his career. On top of that, classic movies, classic films. On top of that, the man was a part of like multiple like reality shows. He had his own reality show. Yeah. He was a part of like other ones with other couples. Like he had like a whole other like fame to him. Some people probably only knew him from shows. Yeah. Some people only knew him from movies. Yeah. Some people knew him from actually music. It's like it's wild, man.
And then you have this whole other side where he wanted to be what a preacher.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
He was like, that might be my end goal in life. Who knows? I might just be a preacher. But he was really preaching already.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You were, bro. And maybe the biggest thing that you did was influence people in a path to finding who they are more. Yes. A spiritual path. And you would pray everywhere you went, bro. Like vehemently. Yeah. And that shit was contagious. Man. And it made people want to be better around you.
Yeah, I remember being young and always seeing him like that was constantly him. I'm like, this man is always praying to like.
That's super dope. As a youth, you look at that like,
you don't see rappers do that.
That's like very beautiful.
And if you see rappers do it, it might be like recently we had Kanye do it, right? But it was like now this is like one you can see a phase of him. But it was always linear with DMX. It was always consistent. He always
like
had God.
Electronica.
Yeah, he always had God in his message, and always everywhere he went, not just in his music, but every interview. You look at old interviews, they would literally ask him, "Can you do a prayer for us?"
Yeah.
Interviews in the 90s and in interviews now recently still asking, can you do a it's almost like if you like had a talent, like you would be able to bend your arm backwards twice. And before you go, can you show us the trick? Oh yeah. And like that was him, like, and they would ask him that, like it was amazing. And like he would never mind. He would like, whoa, he would be honored to, like he would be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, yeah, and he would know how to do it.
And it was never about himself.
Never,
it was always about.
It was never
people.
a selfless prayer. It was always about people around him and everyone else, and it was always different, and it was always sounding so well. Like you can tell he obviously practiced. Like this is something that he would live by every day.
But that's the thing. Is like that shit was so ingrained in him that it seems like it was effortless and it came out spontaneously.
Man.
And I think it did. I don't think he practiced it.
Imagine off the top.
I think
like
it's
just
just
spoke.
it's
Like
just
God just spoke
in
to
him. It's just in him. It's in him.
Cause that was when he was best well spoken, when he would do prayers. It was amazing, like from top to bottom. Like,
when he was doing his
damn.
art, that was like that was his spoken word, his prayer, and that's the way he rapped. It was almost like prayer.
That's another.
Because when a nigga drop, you never follow.
He was never ever the punchline, witty line. Fuck all that.
Never.
Fuck all that.
Never.
I'm gonna say the real.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do it this way.
Yeah.
And that's almost like that's like a wild lane, and he's almost like the godfather of that lane of rap, because like you can hear someone to this day and you be like, oh shit, that nigga reminds me of DMX. Like it was so like strong, like that sound, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You even get that with the that's why he wanted to work with Pop Smoke and whatnot.
Yes, he wanted to work with Pop Smoke.
Had the little bark and.
My God, man.
The influence. We're now gonna be able to look back and say, okay, this man was in charge of a lot of influence, and
we can see it. We see even in our own city, a lot of people have been posting up about him being, an avid, almost a citizen in Rhode Island. He lived here for a couple years and would visit here a couple years. I heard he lived in Wakefield. Like that's around like North Kingston, so that's more towards like closer to Connecticut, closer to New York. So he would live over there, and he would visit like Johnston, North Providence. He would go to like Benny's, a lot of local staple things, and visit certain thrift stores. And he would always like help people, give clothes away, or randomly take photos. He would never turn down a photo from a fan. He was really selfless, the definition of selfless. Every day he went about his day. He never cared about like I'm a hide from people or like what. No, he was out and about. He just wasn't like in our millennial way. Like he wasn't on social media and all that shit. Like he really wasn't posting and shit. But he was out and about, living an actual life.
And that's the thing, people get misconstrued. Just because you don't post something or publicly display it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Doesn't mean it's not
We're talking
happening.
about Swiss Beats mentioned how he was one of the most, if not the most charitable person and charitable celebrity he's ever known. And nobody knew it because this man wouldn't publicly display those things that he's done. And I think that's honestly the best way to go about it sometimes, because that's even biblical. And we're talking about a person who, very biblical person, very spiritual person. I think he knew that, though. I think he knew what his responsibility on earth was. Even though he was going through all these vices, I think he still knew he had to complete a mission, and he was completing it. And I think with that last interview, I think he really cemented a lot of things. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Swiss said he's a prophet. The closest thing to a prophet I've ever met in my life. A human prophet walking on earth. And yeah, man, that's what we really have to remember him as. Like, and going into the future now, he's a part of the history books. He already always was, but now when you pass away, your legacy becomes, on paper, embodied, always to be spoken about, written about, seen in photos, movies. So, if you guys are new to DMX, do your research now. It's not someone that's like, oh, why? No, you're gonna learn a lot from him. There's a plethora of things to gain from him. That's the thing about him. Like, he's dead, really, in body, but spiritually and everything is gonna live on forever. There's so much shit that you can, like, come on, we can talk about this for hours.
Yeah, no, we can talk about it for hours. And
that's crazy.
And that's the reason we're gonna be there, wherever it's at. If it's in Yonkers, whatever it's at, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there. Celebration of his life.
We
have to be there because, man, we're talking about somebody in my top 5. I've always said it, in my top 5.
Yeah.
And now realizing in the hindsight bias that this man is the reason why I am here right now.
That's
the
amazing.
Human I am right now is fucking DMX.
That's amazing, man. Rough Riders, ride for life. It's a lifestyle similar to us, if not the same type of thing, man. Complex ambition. It's a brotherhood. It's a beautiful thing, man. We gotta make past generations proud with our generation, and we always gotta give people flowers while they're here. DMX, man, a legend, gone but never ever really forgotten. We love you guys. Much love to everybody out there who's watching this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Stay updated with us. And yeah, we appreciate you for even watching. To be very honest.
Very honest.
Long live the legend, Earl Simmons. 50 years old, half a century. Lived a hell of a life. God bless everybody. Be safe.